While all socials gave you guys the news on the finale of Love Island, this is the news that no one was talking about that they did not want you guys to know. This week, the total cap of all cryptocurrencies hit over $4 trillion. And one of the biggest movers this week was XRP. If you look at this chart, you'll see that XRP went up over 60% in a single month. Followed by another big mover was Ethereum. Ethereum as well went up over 50% in a single month. And Bitcoin, the number one cryptocurrency, hit an all-time high of $120,000 this week. So we see cryptocurrency is blasting off, but what is the culprit of that? Well, we finally get the first regulation of cryptocurrency with the Genius Act that did get passed on the 18th. With that Genius Act, now stable coins are now getting regulated. So it's seeing that cryptocurrency is now going onto the regulation side, and we need to see, will cryptocurrency still take off? Now, another asset that's been blowing up on the stock side has been Nvidia. Nvidia hit a $4 trillion market cap, just like the entire cryptocurrency market cap. Now, people don't understand how big $4 trillion market cap really is. Put this in comparison, Nvidia is actually worth more than Apple and Tesla combined. And with that push up in Nvidia stock, it's actually pushing up the S&P 500 this week to, again, all-time highs. So again, the stock market is actually in discovery mode. So we need to see how exactly high it could go. And we are in the middle of earnings season. So some of the biggest companies in the world will be reporting their report cards to see exactly how good they're doing as a company. So all investors are keeping a keen eye on these earnings to see if the stock market can keep going up or not. Now, the data we get from these earnings report cards will be very important to the stock market, but what's as well as important to the stock market is economic data. And we received some nice economic data on inflation this week. First, we received the CPI report, and the CPI report actually came in worse than expectation. So we're seeing a little bit of uptick in inflation on people just like me and you. But then the next day, we received the PPI report. And again, the PPI report shows the business inflation gauge, and that actually came in lower than expectation with the consumers and lower inflation with producers. And that's a little bit backwards because usually you'll see the producers will start the inflation first. And what they'll do is they'll have a higher inflation. They'll pass it on to the consumers like me and you. And then after that, the CPI and the consumers inflation will go higher. So again, right now, inflation is not that big of a deal. So the stock markets continuously go up with investors piling into the market. Now, one thing we have to talk about is this ongoing battle between Trump and Jerome Powell. So again, Donald Trump wanted interest rates to come down, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell has been keeping interest rates steady and not giving any rate cut. So it's more rumors that's been flaring up this week that Donald Trump does have a new Fed Chair in line and he's going to fire Jerome Powell. So earlier this week, the market did have a little bit of fear and the market was going down off that news. But Donald Trump briefly said something about those rumors and he said he is not going to fire Jerome Powell. And with that news, the stock market rolls back up. But one thing that was very interesting, Jerome Powell did not shoot down rumors that he might resign. So instead of him getting fired, he might resign on his own. So again, this is an ongoing story that will be a huge big news in the market. We need to see if that does happen, how does the market actually react? Now, most of this information I gave you this week has been positive, but I did find a very alarming situation that I want to let you guys know about. So if you guys remember, back in 2008, we had a nasty crash in the stock market due to the housing market, and the stock market fell down tremendously. Now, if you look at the stock market in 2008 and then the stock market now in 2025, you'll see a lot of similarities. So I wanted to show you this chart. If you look at this chart, you'll see that the stock market now in 2008 has been following each other very closely. And right now we're at all-time highs and we are overextended in the stock market. So if this trend still plays out with the similarities within both markets, the stock market could be taking a nasty drop soon. So if you do have stock, it's always a good idea to take some profit. Even if you take 20% of your portfolio or 10% of your portfolio, it's always good to take some profits. But right now we're in the middle of earnings season, so we should have a lot of volatility, and I'll let you guys know exactly what happened next week. Again, this is the weekly market recap, and I'll see you soon. Peace.